I'm Dr. Rajani Kata, author of The Successful Match, and the interview question, where do you see yourself in 15 years, can be pretty intimidating. In this video, we're going to walk you through a step-by-step approach for how to create a compelling, unique response. If you haven't already, I recommend that you start with the other video in this series, which is a before and after example of a good response to this question. So here's our step-by-step approach.
Where do you see yourself in 15 years? The first step is to go ahead and quickly record your own response, and then I'm going to have you watch the before video, and I want you to pay attention to a few particular points. This answer is simply not memorable. Why? Well, the vast majority applicants who answer this question focus on their specialty choice. Now, some might also focus on personal life goals. So I've had a lot of applicants say things like, well, I think I would like to be working in ophthalmology and I would like to be married with children. So that's a very typical answer. And because the most common response is a specialty choice, your response simply won't be memorable. Specialty choice can be a portion of your response, definitely, but it should not be the entire focus of your response. And I'll also caution you that if you start to talk about a particular specialty, I've known since I was 5 years old that I want to be a surgeon, and 15 years from now, I picture myself in the operating room. Well, some interviewers are going to listen to that, and they're going to maybe think that you deciding on a specialty at such an early stage may be overly rigid. I mean, really, how can you decide with certainty if you haven't had any experience with other fields? So that's one caution. It is okay to say that you are leaning towards a career in surgery. You do, however, want to indicate that you're open and flexible and really looking forward to your exposure to multiple fields. I will also caution you that you want to think about the specialty choice, if you're mentioning one that you're highlighting, and how that relates to the school's offerings or the school's mission. So if you're interviewing at a school that has a strong emphasis on rural healthcare, and you're coming in and really talking about your interest in a highly specialized subset of medicine, that may not be seen as a good fit with that medical school. Why are they asking this question? Well, your interviewer wants to learn what matters most to you. What drives you? What are your values or your mission? What are your goals in medicine? Let me walk you through how to really craft a more powerful response here. So let's talk about how to step up your response. This question is probably best served by starting with thinking about your own values, and then thinking about how have your past activities demonstrated these values. And finally, you're going to translate those values into future actions that you can take 15 years from now. And the majority of your response here should really be focused on your values. And when I say values, I'm encompassing your mission, your purpose, your particular values, or particular areas about which you're passionate. Now you're going to take that mission, and I want you to envision 15 years from now, you're going to have a lot more training, skills, a lot more connections and resources to make an even greater contribution in that area 15 years later. So let me walk you through an example of how this can be done. So if we go stepwise, step one is to think about your values. Step two is to reflect on your own unique experiences and choices. In step three, you're going to translate those values into future actions. And in step four, you're going to think about the impact that you can make. So when I'm thinking about, I'll give you an example here. I'm thinking about some of my values, some of my interests and my goals within medicine. I'm very passionate about teaching. I'm employed as a tutor. I volunteered during undergrad in an after-school program for elementary school students who had reading challenges. Along with my passion for teaching on an elementary school level, I also have an interest in patient education and health literacy. In fact, I completed the CDC health literacy course. I've also had the privilege of working with one of my mentors to create patient education handouts in ophthalmology. Now, in that example, you're describing your mission, and then you're thinking about your own experiences that have demonstrated those values. Now I want you to think about how you can translate that passion for teaching into future actions that you could take and how you might make an impact in that area. 15 years from now. Well, I would love to make education a future part of my career. I've volunteered as a tutor, and I was really inspired by my time spent shadowing a family physician. She works as a clinician educator, and she's a physician at the University Health Center, and she has residents who rotate through the clinic with her. Having completed my residency training 15 years from now, I would love to work as a clinician educator and continue to train residents and medical students. I would also love to work on patient education initiatives. I've been volunteering with an advocacy group for the blind over the last 2 years, and I've also helped create patient education handouts with my mentor. In the future, I would love to work more closely with patient advocacy groups to help in the development of educational materials for their members. And that last part is thinking about the impact that you could make. So let's walk back through this now, step by step, and see how you can apply it to your own unique experiences and values. So in step 1, I want you to actually sit down with pen and paper and think about your values. What areas are you interested in? That could be education, it could be research, it could be others. Or asked another way, what drives you, or what is your mission? Go ahead and think about what are some of your passions. What is a driving force for you when you're choosing your activities? Or what are the organizations that you're really passionate about? And now, in step 2, I want you to think about examples from your past that paint an authentic picture of these interests, goals, missions, values. So this could come from your experiences in medicine, but it doesn't have to. You should also think about your non-medical work experiences. You should also think about your extracurricular activities as well as your leadership roles. You should also think about areas that you have volunteered in or your community service interests. And don't forget to include your hobbies or personal interests, because all of these give an idea to you of what it is that drives you. Now, we're thinking about starting with your values, then thinking about how your past activities have demonstrated this. Now let's translate those values into future actions. Think about the future actions that you could take as a physician. Talk about how your status as a fully trained physician can help you make more of an impact in these areas. And you might want to consider specific causes or organizations even that you could impact as a physician. And when I'm thinking about impact 15 years from now, you're going to be in a completely different area. You're going to have more skills, more training. You're also going to have more connections, and you're going to have more resources at your disposal. These are going to allow you to make an even greater impact in this area. How will you do that? As you watch the powerful response here, take note of how he's able to describe his values and how he translates that into future impact.
Now that you've seen our step-by-step approach, you can sit down and start to work on your own unique, compelling response to this common interview question. I'm the creator of the Medical School Interview 101 and the Residency Interview 101 course, and our courses go through multiple questions like this. If you'd like to see more of our questions, more of our resources, please visit us at our website, thesuccessfulmatch.com. I want to wish you all the best on your journey in medicine. Good luck.